Hello everybody. Normally I would not be making two videos so close to each other, but today the Glorious PC Gaming Race Company, or apparently just Glorious PC Gaming now, announced the Model D Wireless, and I have quite a strong opinion on Glorious products, and I wanted to talk about this. First off, if you're not already, go follow my Twitter. This is it, @CosmoNot. Yeah, so if you are not Cosmo not already, you should go follow my Twitter. But yeah, so I just want to make a quick video talking about Glorious products because, frankly, they're just fucking terrible, and people don't already know this. Like, there are so many fucking Glorious shills in the gaming space, who just will not tell you the truth about these products, because as good as they seem on paper, you just straight up will not receive a good product. Your mouse will come already broken, or it will break in a few days, or buttons will actuate when you don't want them to. Like, there's like a 50-50 chance that you just get a product that is broken in some way, and whether or not, like, I don't know about you, but I'd rather spend $150 on a G Pro X Superlight than spend $70 on a Model O Wireless and have a 50-50 chance of actually having a working mouse. Okay, so you may be saying, how do you know that these Glorious products are so terrible? Well, because I bought two of them. This is the Model O that I have paracorded, and before I go into the quality control issues, I just want to say these issues existed before I paracorded it, and they are just as bad as they were before I paracorded the mouse. So there's no amount of like, oh, maybe you messed up when you were paracording, and that's why the issues are here. So this mouse is from the very first batch of Model O's. I ordered it right when the mouse came out. I actually was on the pre-order list. So first off, the big issue here is if you just barely press the side. You hear that? And this is me putting in minimal effort. Like, it takes the same amount of effort to actuate these side buttons through the side of the mouse than it takes to actuate the middle click. And this is just unacceptable. This means that if you pick up the mouse especially hard, you activate that button right there. Like, this is just absolutely unacceptable. Additionally, if you press the bottom of the mouse, you actually activate the DPI switch. That is honestly fine. Like, that never happens in-game, so it doesn't actually matter. But this, like, I used this mouse for probably 2 weeks when I first got it, and then had to stop just because in Overwatch I have cooldowns bound to these buttons, and if I pick up the mouse too hard and actuate one of those cooldowns, that can just straight up lose a fight. So that already disqualified the Model O from being a mouse that I could use. So frankly, it does not matter how good the rest of this mouse is. If I am losing fights and therefore losing games because of something on the mouse, I cannot use it. And this is something that is just entirely on Glorious PC Gaming Races, and this is just completely unacceptable. However, you may say, Cosmo, this was 3 years ago. I got a Model O, and I didn't have this issue. Supposedly, because as we'll see when I get to this mouse, that issue was fixed. Because again, this was the very first batch of Model O's. And there were numerous announcements made about, oh, quality control's been fixed, we care more about the build quality. So here we have the Model O minus, which I will say, you can still totally do it. You hear that? Like, you can still totally do this, but it is harder. It is harder to do. Like, now, if I'm using the Model O minus, I only actuate that button if I'm, like, really squeezing on the mouse hard. It is legitimately hard to actuate this side button through the side of the mouse. That being said, it's still fucking unacceptable that you can. Like, I should not be able to easily replicate this. Like, I should not be able to spam it out like that. Like, this entire mouse just has so much flex. Like, do you see that? I don't know if you... Like, it bends in. And this is true on the top, too. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm putting a lot of force in, but, like, you... As a company... And not Model O, Glorious PC Gaming Race is no longer, like, a small company. Like, this is a company that is making plenty of money, very big company. I know they still try to put on the image of, like, oh, small indie company trying to put out mice that really kill the competition. Like, they're not a fucking small company. Like, they're no Logitech, they're no Razer, but they're a bigger company than Vaxi, they're a bigger company than G-Wolves. Like, they are probably the biggest company that is not like a giant established tech brand, in terms of the gaming mouse space. I'd argue that they are bigger than Zowie. Definitely not bigger than BenQ, but bigger than Zowie. So these are not like, oh, it's in fucking Kickstarter, these are small quality control issues. These are things where, like, you can't fucking say that you're some incredible gaming brand and have these issues. You will not find a Logitech mouse that flexes like this. You will not find a Razer mouse that flexes like this. You won't find a Zowie mouse that flexes like this. You won't find a Vaxi mouse that flexes like this. There are smaller companies that are making better built mice. And what Glorious does is they put out mice with a whole bunch of fucking buzzwords, and you see, oh, 63 grams, oh, it's only $50, it's an FK shape. But none of that shit fucking matters if you're gonna regularly be losing because of the shit like this. Also, what I haven't mentioned, this one just straight up came broken. I don't know if you can see there, but the DPI switch, it's like recessed into the shell. I don't know if that is fixable, but I'd have to, like, I can't just like pull it back out. It's like stuck in there, and that's just how the mouse came. I will say it's the DPI switch. On my mice, I just set them all to 800 DPI and then never fixed it, or never changed it. So it doesn't affect me, but this is a broken product. This arrived at my door broken. And that's, I don't give a shit if I spent $50 on this mouse. It's broken. If they don't want to make working DPI switches, don't fucking put a DPI switch on. So this is just another low quality piece of shit. Like Glorious, they make, if you get a good Model O, I believe that it's a good mouse. Like if you have this mouse and it comes perfect and there's no issues with it, there's no side flex, I believe it's a good mouse. But when you are buying a gaming mouse from a large brand, an established brand that has been making mice for coming up on 3 years now, it should not be fucking, it should not be a lottery on whether or not you're going to get a usable mouse. Like, this is not usable. I cannot play with this mouse. I lose fights if I plug this mouse in. And this mouse is just straight up broken. So this, I hope this kind of gives some amount of insight into Glorious PC Gaming Rights as a company. This is also not a Cosmos-specific problem. If you go to our mouse review, or if you just talk to people, like, this is a common issue. This is not a situation of I got 2 bad copies in a row. Keep in mind, this is 2 years apart too. Like, this is a Model O minus that I got far after it released, and this is a Model O that I got straight when it released. Like, other than a Model D wireless, these are like as far apart as they could be in terms of the time span of Glorious. So they had 2 years between this one to fix this one, and it still comes broken. And I don't fucking care if I can open up a mouse to fix it. 90% of people that are purchasing Glorious products are not opening their mice to mod them. And frankly, you shouldn't have to. Also, now to get into more specific shit that, by the way, none of this stuff that I'm going to talk about next actually fucking matters, because you should not buy a mouse if it's a 50-50 chance that it comes to your door broken. But other stuff, the mouse skates are shit. These are like the worst PTFE feet I've ever used. They're the like G skates, they're worse than Hyperglides, worse than Core Pads, worse than Tiger Arcs. Frankly, I'd rather use stock Zowie feet. Like, these are dog shit mouse skates. The cable's good. Like, unironically, the cable's really good. The buttons are decent. There's a lot of post-travel on the side clicks. The scroll wheel is really fucking nutty. And the steps are not defined at all. The scroll wheel click is decent, though. There's obviously a lot of side flex. The shape, it's just like it's a slightly worse FK shape, but it is still kind of an FK. Personally, I would rather just use an FK2B 99% of the time, because an FK2B will arrive at my doorstep and not be broken. But to anybody watching, don't fucking buy Glorious products. When buying a gaming mouse, you should not need to hope that you get a working product. I've never dealt with Glorious customer service, just because, well, actually, I did on this mouse, and they just never got back to me. But again, that was 3 years ago, and I believe things can change in terms of customer service, even though their products haven't. And then this one, this was just not a big enough deal. I just stopped using this mouse because I didn't like it, because it's too small. Like, it is just a team, because it's like an FK3 almost. Like, it is a very small mouse and I don't fingertip, so that's why I stopped using this one. So I can't speak for the customer service, but when you buy a mouse, you should be able to be confident that it's going to work when it arrives at your door, and you should be able to play with it out of the box when it arrives at your door, and you shouldn't have to go through customer service to get a working product. Don't fucking buy Glorious mice. Like, it is not worth the $20 difference between, like, a Model O minus and, like, an XM1 or something. Like, they make good mice at this price point now. Like, the truth about Glorious at this point is that they, like, even if their products arrive to your door working perfectly, they have competitors. Like, there's no reason to buy a 65 or 63 or 6, oh no, this is a fucking 70 gram mouse. There's no reason to buy a 68 gram Model O for $60 when you can get an Endgame Gear XM1, which is 70 grams, it's a better shape, it's gonna arrive to your door working, it has a better cable, it has better feet. Like, you can get that shipped to your door for the same price that you can this one. There's no fucking reason to be buying Glorious products when they are worse than competitors' mice, and they arrive to your door broken. So, I hope that this has been somewhat enlightening, because I do know that there's going to be a whole new wave of Glorious shills when the Model D wireless becomes available for purchase. But TLDR, it's a fucking dog shit mouse. Don't buy it. Glorious is a shitty company and you shouldn't be supporting them. You shouldn't be giving them your money. It's not just a matter of, oh, they have bad practices and you shouldn't support them. Like, you're not going to get a good mouse. I mean, you're going to supposedly get a good mouse, but who the fuck cares how good a mouse is if it doesn't work? Yeah, so don't buy Glorious mice. I'll see you guys later.